Mic test. All right. Should be starting in about 3 minutes, give or take, waiting on one more round. Again, we're live for late night number 86. The last late night for PTCGO. Again, I do apologize. Unfortunately, I have no webcam at the moment, lacking some key technologies for sure for while I'm traveling. But that's okay, because we have some amazing games in store, and that's what's important. All right, we do have a game here. Let's go ahead and hop right on. All right, we have Lecho against Caleb Rogerson. It's going to be Lost Box against Arcturalodon, I believe. Going to be an interesting game here for sure. It's going to be I'm actually curious about this matchup. Again, Arcturalodon, very, very powerful deck, right? Huge VMAX Pokemon with 330 HP. It's going to be, I think it's going to come down to if the Lost Box can do enough damage. Looks like McMahon here is going to start us off. Does get the Duraludon V in the active there. However, you know what? That's not the one you want in the active. The one you want in the active is going to be that Arceus V. Again, you're going to have to attack with the Arceus V Star first to power up some Duraludons. Getting the attachment on the Arceus V Star, though, absolutely huge. Not more you can ask for going first. As long as you get Arceus, as long as you get an Arceus and an Energy, I think you're having a good time. Over now to Lecho. Gets the Radiant Greninja. Gets a couple of cards there. Radiant Greninja in the active. That's okay. It's easy enough to retreat. However, the real Pokemon you want in the active, of course, is the Compe with the Flower Selecting ability. Again, the ability that will power up your Lost Zone and your hand. All right. Again, they're going to need a way to chain those Compes, though. Again, there are key numbers to hit in a Lost Box deck. 4, 7, and 10. Going second, you 100% want to see something like a Chorus's Experiment. But right now, the only way to really get something in the Lost Zone is that one Flower Selecting. So a lot riding on this Compe's back right now here. Only way to retreat, Flower Selecting. What does he get? Absolutely huge there. Getting the Chorus Experiment. I think the perfect draw off a Flower Selecting. So good job, little Compe. Yeah, Chorus Experiment. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Send 3. Put 3 in your hand, 2 in the Lost Zone. Power up your hand, power up your Lost Zone. Looking good. That will put, let's show here, to 3 cards in the Lost Zone. Ooh, interesting. The Unfazed Fat Snorlax. But I think that's going to be sent to the Lost Zone there. Has a couple of cards. Unfortunately, I don't see cards that can get more cards in the Lost Zone, right? There is a line here where you use Escape Rope and then scoop up, you scoop up net the Compe first and then use the Escape Rope, but then that will also put McMahon's Arceus V in the active, which I'm sure Lecho does not want to help out. Again, Arceus V is going to be the first attacker for sure. Looks like he's debating on getting the Unfazed Fat Snorlax. Absolutely powerful card there. And that's exactly what we're going to get. Thumping Snore. Again, big damage. However, Snorlax does like to take naps. Looks like we're going to pick up the Radiant Greninja. And by picking it up with a Scoop Up Net, gives you another round of concealed cards. Let's see what we get. Battle VIP Pass, not too bad. Plus a Switch card. Let's see what they decide to get. Cramorant with the Spit Innocently is going to be big there. If they get a Switch card off this Flower Selecting here after the Switch card, they could potentially attack with the Spit Innocently. Again, a couple of key numbers. Sableye or the Bird Keeper there. Both cards not going to help out this turn, but Bird Keeper will help out the next turn. So a little bit of future proofing there, but Sableye big card as well. Definitely hurts to lose, but that's the risk sometimes of when you use the Flower Selecting. The choices are sometimes hard. Lecho's going to pass it over to McMahon there. Question is, not that much they need here. Switch and an Arceus V-Star. In fact, if they can get just the Arceus V-Star, I think they'd be fine. Again, if Caleb here can find the Arceus V-Star, they should be fine, because Arceus V-Star does have access to Starbirth. That means you have access to any 2 cards in the net. That in the deck, that means Switch card is a possibility. But it's a matter of drawing into that Arceus. And the way they're playing, sometimes you can just tell, right? If they're not slapping down a card that is absolutely key, more likely than not, they don't have it. Quick Ball isn't an Ultra Ball. That is going to be able to find another basic here. Collapse Stadium being played as well, limiting both players' bench, but more importantly, Lecho's bench. That means no more options for maybe an attacker, right now. They have to play with what's on the field, but they do have a counter stadium, so that should be fine. They do. Caleb does find themselves another Duraludon. A Switch would be nice here as well. You just get attacking, dropping a second Arceus as well, and it's going to be a pass. Missing an Arceus V-Star is big. Let's see if Lecho can respond here. All right, looks like we're going to start with the Flower Selecting. Grabs the Scoop Up Net, but Ordinary Rod's pretty important as well. This could hurt here. We do already have one Ordinary Rod in hand. Okay, let's show then identifying it. That maybe one Ordinary Rod should be enough. We're going to see a Scoop Up Net there. Flower Selecting once again. Sky Seal Stone is going to be a big card against Sky Seal Stone. If attached to a Pokemon V, you will have the ability to take an extra prize on a V-Star or a V-Max. That means Lecho could potentially take 4 prizes off a knockout on Duraludon V-Max, or 3 prizes off a knockout on Arceus V-Star. Looks like we're going to have to use the Bird Keeper here. I'm sure they wanted something like a Chorus's Experiment, which they do draw into. All right, right now, they still have access to one more Flower Selecting. Looks like it might just be another Spit Innocently turn here. Identifying that. Maybe they need the Heavy Ball over the Comfey there. They still could use concealed cards, but they use concealed cards. That's the only energy in hand. They might not be able to retreat. Guru, Drapion, double Mirage Gate in the prizes. Actually, that kind of stings, but luckily we do have the other 2 in hand. Something Lecho has access to, something like the Dragonite V. Dragonite V has a very powerful attack, 250 damage, nothing to scoff at, but more importantly, 230 HP. That 10 HP is the difference between not getting a KO and not, right? Max damage output for Duraludon VMAX is 220, so that's going to be a big card for sure, as well as the Crown Zenith's Zamazenta there you see on the bench, another Pokemon that can do big damage. I want to look at both players' decks real quick. I want to know the healing options Caleb has in their Duraludon deck, if any. Oh, we do see the Dragonite come down there. And they did get 7 cards in the loss, so that means Mirage Gate is active. They could potentially take a knockout here. Is it 250. Yeah, it's 250 damage if I remember right. Yes, should be a knockout on the Duraludon despite the ability. Big card again, taking 2 prizes very early. They're essentially they could potentially win off taking a knockout on a VMAX next, right? With the Sky Seal Stone. Potentially. All right, looking at Caleb's deck. Unfortunately, they don't play any means of healing. So that means every hit is going to stick, which is very important in Lost Box, right? Any damage that Lost Box can do, be it Spit Innocently, be it this Dragon's Gale attack, any damage at all is very important. Because out of nowhere, Lost Box is known from taking multiple KOs on damaged Pokemon because of the Lost Mine on the Sableye. But right now, Dragon's Gale, 250 damage, more than enough. Well, just enough, actually, to take a knockout on the Duraludon V. And just like that, Let's Show takes the lead 4 prizes over to Caleb. Let's see if Caleb can respond. They do have an attack, right? They can attack with the Arceus for sure. It does already have energy, but that's not the attack you want to use, right? That's not. A Trinity Charge could be good, but you want to put damage onto Dragonite. Again, 230 HP means you are two-shotting this Pokemon. A little bit of a delay here from Caleb. Or maybe they're really thinking of what to promote. Maybe the hand isn't too good there and might need to buy one more turn, potentially. They could opt to promote something like the Arceus with no energy, and that could buy you at least one more turn. You will lose 2 prizes. But, oh, looks like Lecho is just going to take that game there. I'm not sure if that was a disconnection or potentially just a concession, but either way, Lecho wins game 1 here in top 8 of the late night. Absolutely huge. That much closer again to winning the trip to Yokohama, Japan. Again, that is the ultimate prize here at the late night series. Let's give both players here a couple of minutes. Let me double check if there's anything going on in the Discord. So we'll be right back. I'll be right here. Just gonna check on things in the Discord real quick. We have multiple games as well. Just in our top 8 alone. Let's talk about that real quick. Again, we have a pack of Alpacas, Yoshi Main, Benjamin Grove, Dalton Cross, Caleb Rogerson, Let's Show, Darren O'Mara, and Gabriel Smart as our top 8 here tonight. And for our top 8 decks, I'm curious. So 2 Arceus Duraludons, one Vikavolt, Mew VMAX, 2 Lugia V-Stars, and 2 Mew VMAXs and a Lost Box. So quite the split. I'm surprised actually no Eternatus VMAX there. Popular deck in the Charlotte Regional Championship. All right, looks like we have game 2 now. Let's hop right on. Again, this is top 8 of the late night, number 86, the final late night for PTCGO. As Let's Show against Caleb Rogerson. Let's Show here starting off with the Zamazenta from Crown Zenith. Again, with the Retaliate attack, does very big damage. But Caleb's going to start us off. Does start the Arceus V. Gets the energy attachment. Not much you can ask for. That is a-okay. Ooh, Lecho top decking the Battle VIP Pass. Absolutely huge. Again, I've said this many times. If you're opening a Battle VIP Pass, you're having a good time. Again, Battle VIP Pass, absolutely powerful card. Allows you to find 2 basic Pokemon and put them straight onto your bench. That's an item card. However, it is an item card you can only play on your first turn. Excuse me. Again, great card nonetheless. Again, Battle VIP in a Lost Box. I mean, there's multiple ways to go through the deck on your first turn as Lost Box. So great addition for sure. And, you know, it's something when you try and flower selecting and, yeah, when you try to use flower selecting on later rounds and you see the Battle VIP pass, sometimes it's a breath of fresh air to just, sometimes it's just a breath of fresh air to just have that no thinking decision. You know, no hard choices there. The thing that's hitting the Lost Zone is going to be the Battle VIP pass, something like that. Flower selecting now happening. Again, tough decision like this. Do you lose the energy? Do you lose the Ordinary Rod? Ordinary Rod, very important card there. Again, energy probably a little bit more important. That's our first flower selecting of the turn. No supporter just yet. That Comfey earlier in the round 1 was able to find the Chorus Experiment, and there it is once again. Not bad first turn. 2 cards already now into the Lost Zone with the Chorus Experiment. That's going to make it 4. Again, that's a key number there. Only question is, can we get the Cramorant? And with a Battle VIP pass? I think so. All right, looks like deciding between a Lightning Energy and a Raihan as the third card that goes into the hand. And that's the thing with Lost Box, right? It's managing those resources. I mean, every deck has to manage the resources, right? However, I don't think there is a more intricate deck than Lost Box. Not only do you have to manage your hand, you manage the field, because again, you want to have the right Pokemon on the board. You don't want to clog it up and maybe potentially only have room for like 1 Comfey, for example. So yeah, you're managing your hand, you're managing the field, you're managing your discard pile, because the things that you sent to the discard pile aren't gone forever. You can get them back with like Energy Recycler and Ordinary Rod. But not only that, you're also managing the Lost Zone. You want to make sure you're only sending the right cards onto the Lost Zone. Not too many resources. You have to make sure you don't send too many energy, for example. And none of your key attackers hit the Lost Zone, because once it's in the Lost Zone, it's lost forever. But right now, hitting the right numbers there. 4 cards in Lost Zone. Spit Innocently now has no energy cost. And we do have energy to attach. The question is, what do we try and power up? Looks like it's going to be the Snorlax there on the bench. And we're just going to go ahead and Spit Innocently again. If this Cramorant does get knocked out, it will activate the effects of like Raihan, for example, which is absolutely huge. That means you're not going to have to try and hit the next number, right? We don't have to pressure ourselves to try and hit 7 cards in the Lost Zone, because Raihan can be our energy acceleration for a turn. We could still potentially attack. Looks like we're retreating there to the Zamazenta V. That is the card with the air balloon, so it is potentially a free retreat. But I have a feeling Caleb has the attack here again with the Evolution Incense. Gonna find them any evolution Pokemon, and if I had to guess, it's gonna be the Arceus V-Star. And now that we have Arceus V-Star, 100% guarantees we do have an attack here. Marnie absolutely huge as well. That means that Raihan play is no longer available. Let's see what Licho gets off the top 4. Scoop Up Net's pretty big. Third Comfey in hand, actually. Everything else in hand, not too important. The biggest card is gonna be this Scoop Up Net. And let's see what else Caleb decides to do. There it is. There's a Starbirth. Look for any 2 cards in the deck. Let's see what they decide to get. One of them has to be the Double Turbo Energy and potentially Duraludon V. Again, you can't start. You're going to need a target, right, for the Trinity Nova. All right. Looks like they did get it here. I'm just curious what else we're going to need to play. Looks like they opted for Quick Ball. Great way to just thin the hand as well, instead of just straight getting something like the Duraludon. Looks like they're opting for another Arceus instead of the Duraludon. There's the DTE, and we're going to see a Trinity Nova there for the knockout on the Zamazenta, as well as powering up the second Arceus. All right, back here to Let's Show. Next question is, can we get a return KO? Again, with a hand earlier, it was no question at all. Raihan was able to get us there. It could get us there, excuse me. And now we're just going to flower selecting, getting the training court. That is a pretty important card there. But Quick Ball's also pretty good, right? Quick Ball can find you something like the Radiant Ninja to try and dig you through the deck. And yeah, but it looks like it is going to be training card. Scoop Up Net being played now. Very important flower selecting. There's a Quick Ball anyway. Man, if he's not going to matter in this matchup, Arceus Duraludon doesn't quite hit the bench. And yeah, looks like we're going to have to attach the Comfey there. And just attack again with the Cramorant. Again, Snorlax would have been the perfect attacker in this position. However, we just didn't have the resources to get there, unfortunately. But it's a bit innocently, not too bad. We can potentially clean up the Arceus later in the game with the Sableye, potentially, or maybe another Cramorant. But it's very unfortunate for sure that we're three-shotting this Arceus. But again, not the end of the world. Back over to Caleb. Again, Caleb can breathe a sigh of relief here. That Arceus took a couple of hits. It's going to be a Trinity Nova right off the bat there. And just like that, technically Caleb is pretty much set up. Just lacking maybe some evolution Pokemon. But this is the board he needs to have, right? 3 big Pokemon. And the question is, can Let's Show take care of it? Mirage Gate's nice to get, but they won't have a retreat. How many cards in the Lost Zone? Looks like it's 6. So after this, Mirage Gate should be activated. We should be able to have the knockout here. But with Mirage Gate, you can power up the Comfey and use it to retreat, or use the Training Court to get energy from the discard pile to get the retreat. And we have the Quick Ball, so we have access to pretty much any attacker we want that's in the deck. I'm curious if they have like maybe a second Cramorant, or they could just straight attack with the Snorlax as well there. Eventually, I'm sure they want to find the Dragonite with the Quick Ball eventually, but right now, just attacking with Snorlax should be fine. If they could get to 10 though, I think that would have been the perfect turn, right? If they could have potentially get 10 cards in the Lost Zone and knock out the Arceus using Lost Mine, I think that would be big, because that sets up KOs on the bench as well. You only need 6 damage counters on the Arceus to take the knockout. You have 6 more to play with. You could put 3 onto an Arceus V, so it could potentially get knocked out by Dragonite, for example. But right now, Let's Show taking 2 prizes there with the Snorlax again. Unfazed Fat means Snorlax is staying asleep. But I don't think Snorlax is going to stay sick in the field for too long. Caleb just has to find the Duraludon VMAX to take this knockout. Raihan is definitely going to get them there. Again, Raihan able to accelerate an energy to any Pokemon. And then find yourself any card you need from the deck. Looks like they're opting for the Collapse Stadium there. Very big card. And there it is, Duraludon VMAX, an absolute beast of a Pokemon. 330 HP. That's very tough to deal with. And yeah, Caleb's down to 3 prizes. Lecho's in a very tough spot, right? He has to take a knockout on Duraludon and the Arceus V on the bench before Caleb gets his last 3 prizes. So in three attacks, right? I don't think that's quite possible. It's going to be a tough ask, right? Dragonite is going to be key again, and Dragonite has to be able to survive the turn. And something I'm wondering as well, if they still have access to Sky Seal Stone, because we know one's already in the Lost Zone. Sky Seal Stone would have been an absolutely huge card here, because it allows you to take that that awkward one prize, right? If they take a knockout on the Duraludon VMAT to take 4 prizes, that would have been very, very big. But again, it's already in the loss zone. I do want to check their deck real quick. I wouldn't think they'd play 2, but you never know. Yeah, no, it is just 1 Sky Seal Stone, and it's already in the loss zone. That means it has to be a knockout on the Duraludon and a knockout on the Arceus. All right, let's see what else Lechon has here. Looks like they used Flower Selecting again. Get some Metal Energy in hand. They're going to have to attack here now. They're going to have to find their attacker now. It's going to have to be the Dragonite. Couple of awkward... they're going to have to use the Ordinary Rod as well. A little bit early. Shuffle back in. What's going to be important here? Is it going to be Snorlax? Yeah, I think Zamazenta is going to be a big card for sure. And again, we need that Lightning Energy and the Water. Ooh, I don't think we have... Oh, we don't have Lightning Energy in the deck, if I'm correct. So maybe we're not attacking with Dragonite here. But let's see. Oh, we're potentially attacking with the Sableye. Maybe saving Dragonite for later in the round. Not quite sure if we have 10 cards in the loss zone, but we'll have to see. I'm 100% sure. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but we're about to see. If not, it's just going to be a scratch there. Wasn't keeping count, fortunately, but they were able to use a couple of Chorus Experiment. Yes, okay, Lost Mine is activated. Great attack for sure. And just like that, with this one Sableye, it's setting up a knockout on 2 Pokemon. And Dragonite could potentially sweep the game, right? 8 damage onto the Duraludon. That's 250 damage. 3 damage onto an Arceus V. So even if it evolves into an Arceus V-Star, that's also a knockout on the Dragonite. Very important turn here for Caleb. He needs to boss the Dragonite right here, right now. He has to be the person to take the first attack on the Dragonite. But even then, might be in the tough spot. So absolutely great plays here by Lecho. If he started attacking with a Dragonite first, that would have been very problematic. So yeah, that would have been very problematic because again, you'd have to attack twice and take a knockout on Duraludon, for example. And it's not the most efficient way because you're doing 250 damage twice, essentially 500 damage. But there's the boss's orders. Big card. G-Max Pulverization there. 220 damage. Not quite the knockout. And again, now we do have the Mirage Gate, but the Lightning Energy is still in the discard pile. We have to find another way to get some energy recursion here. Colress Experiment has to be able to do it here. I think it's going to have to be the Energy Recycler if they play something like that. Or another Ordinary Rod. Raihan would have been big. Yes, Raihan would have been big there. Looks like that. Yeah, looks like they're grabbing Raihan, Chorus Experiment, and the Escape Rope. In my mind, maybe you don't need the Chorus Experiment anymore, right? You only have around 7 cards left in the deck after this Chorus Experiment. You're going to need the Capture Energy for the Radiant Greninja, because I think you still have to dig a little bit more. Oh no, we've already used Radiant Greninja. And yeah, unfortunately, not being able to attack with the Dragonite Lightning Energy, not in the deck. Do they have any ways to get more energy in the deck? And that's going to be it. Looks like Caleb able to tie up the series. We are going to go to game 3. Absolutely huge. Again, just thinking about it, the early sending the Lightning Energy, for example, to the Lost Zone was very big because they would have been in a great spot if they had Lightning Energy in the deck. They would have taken a knockout there on the Dragonite, and then they have a knockout lined up just if they're able to attack as well with the Zamazenta, for example. But here we go. Game 3 again. Winner here advances to top 4. So very important match. And LeCho's going to start us out. Again, something LeCho hasn't been able to do just yet is just start with the right Pokemon. You want to start with the Comfey because that means you just have a flower selecting ready to go. And Snorlax is not it. Snorlax is probably one of the one of the heavier Pokemon to have in the active for sure. I mean, it's Snorlax, but it is something you can just scoop up net. At least it wasn't like the Drapion. Sometimes Drapion is a little bit heavier than Snorlax because you can't just use scoop up net on it. It looks like we did open the Battle VIP pass though, so we're having a good time. Battle VIP pass again allows you to get 2 basic Pokemon, put them on your bench. Just thinking, it's deliberating here. 2 Comfeys makes sense to me because again, that's exactly what you want to do. Flowers, get the flower selecting train going. And they still have access to something like the Quick Ball to potentially get the Radiant Greninja. The hand actually is pretty good. Even have Chorus for the next turn. So LeCho here just going through the deck, determining what resources do I have to work with. Again, it's very important here, especially in the Lost Box. And we're going to go ahead and escape again. And flower selecting. Ooh, tough choice. Mirage Gate or Boss's Orders. I think it's going to have to be Mirage Gate. We're going to have to knock out whatever's in the active anyway. So getting energy acceleration a little bit more important. We're going to attach to the Comfey there. And just go flower selecting once again. So getting 2 cards in the Lost Zone on your first turn, that's not the worst. Sableye or Quick Ball. I think it's going to have to be the Sableye. We already have a Quick Ball in hand anyway. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do for the turn. Just from there, just hold. And we should be able... Oh, looks like it is going to be the Quick Ball instead of the Sableye. Because we're going to use it right now. What are we going to discard, though, off the Quick Ball? Like, everything in hand is good. We're going to lose Quick Ball off the Quick Ball. Mirage Gate? We're losing Mirage Gate. Grabbing the Oranguru. I guess Marnie proofing the hand. We've seen Caleb just play Marnie earlier and really give LeCho a hard time, right? So I like that play, even if you're sacrificing a Mirage Gate for it. I just have to give props to LeCho for that. Sometimes it's hard for players to make those very, very tough decisions. Caleb only with a Boss's Orders and a DTE. Do they have a second Pokemon? Because it's not out of the realm of possibility to get Dragonite powered up the next turn. Looks like there is Trinity Charge is going to be able to power up a second Arceus V. So not a bad first turn as well here for Caleb. Getting the DT on the Arceus, not the easiest thing to do. Again, it's a special energy. You play 4 in the deck, but there's no real way to search for it. Playing the Boss's Orders as well, forcing LeCho's hand to have a switch out here. Looks like we're going to go straight for the Quick Ball. No, we're going to use a Chorus Experiment first. And I think the grab is just going to be... I think it's a pretty easy grab. Energy, Bird Keeper, Scoop Up Net. We're not going to use Raikou. We're not going to use Drapion. So things are A-okay. We have an extra energy. We could use this Quick Ball, find something like the Radiant Greninja, get through the deck a little bit more. A Scoop Up Net can pick up the Snorlax. We could even just go straight into a Cramorant. That doesn't seem too bad as well. Yes, we don't get extra cards in the Lost Zone, but you know. Oh, we still could go to like Comfey. Yeah, we can still pick up the Snorlax, go into Comfey and try and flower selecting, and we have the attach for safety. That's something I like to do in Lost Box, you know. Make sure that I have the retreat. I don't want to have to gamble for it. And looks like we are just going to send another Comfey to Lost Zone, getting another Quick Ball. Quick Ball is very important in the deck for sure. In a deck full of one-ofs. And getting an early attack here with a Cramorant is big. Sets up knockouts for the next turn. For sure, 110 damage plus the attack, plus damage on the Snorlax. Should be enough to take a knockout onto Arceus. We're going to Primate Wisdom. Protect our hand for the next turn. We do, so that means we do have a draw supporter. There it is, Arceus V-Star in evolved from the bench actually. Interesting. Maybe opting to find the switch really force Let's Show to work for those knockouts. Again, especially after seeing the boss's orders hit the lost zone or hit the discard pile very early. And here we go. Starburst finding 2 cards from the deck. Switch. I'm just guessing here. It's going to be Switch and Duraludon V, or potentially even a supporter. We know Caleb didn't quite play the best supporter the last turn, having to use something like boss's orders. Looks like they have multiple boss's orders in hand. Something I'm not surprised by. Duraludon, one of those decks that really play 4 of boss's orders. In fact, I've been able to see some Duraludon decks even opt to play Pokemon Catcher just for the extra gusts. And it's going to be Single Strike Mustard. Interesting. Single Strike Mustard has the effect where if it's the only card in your hand, you get to put a Single Strike Pokemon from your discard pile into play. And that's how you can get into a VMAX without having to go through a V. We're just going to go ahead and Trinity Nova here with the fresh Arceus V-Star. And let's see what we decide power up. Looks like to be the Duraludon. So Caleb here really prepping multiple Pokemon. Unfortunately, it looks like they're lacking a metal energy from the deck. So maybe signaling what they have in hand there. Back to Let's Show. It's going to be tough to get the knockout this turn off a fresh Arceus V-Star. 280. I'm wondering, what attacker do you go with here? I mean, Sableye is always... Like, if you're not taking a knockout that turn, the best attacker is always going to be Sableye with the Lost Mind. Because that way you can just put the exact amount of damage you need to be able to take knockouts. But again, 10 cards in the Lost Zone seems really, really tough. Especially when you don't have Chorus Experiment in hand. If your supporter for turn is going to be Bird Keeper, for example. That's going to be tough. We don't even have 7 cards yet in the Lost Zone. We're going to have to play the Training Court, which allows you to get energy from your discard pile. Maybe use Radiant Greninja to dig that a little bit deeper before we commit to the Bird Keeper. No, looks like we're going to go Bird Keeper right off the bat. Tough decision. We are going to play the Training Court. And here we go. Big concealed cards. Can we draw into Chorus Experiments? No, we cannot. We do have multiple switch outs, though. We could go into a Comfey. Looks like we are just going to we are just going to commit the Bird Keeper there. It's very interesting that, in Lost Box, you can't have too many switch outs. We're playing Escape Ropes, playing Switch Cards, we're playing Scoop Up Nets, we're playing Bird Keeper, we're playing Air Balloon, we're playing Energy to Retreat. I have to wonder if this is a deck that just has the most switch outs in history of the Pokemon trading card game. That's something I might have to research. All right, and from here, not quite sure what you do. Playing Escape Rope could be big, but right now you can't even attack with the... you can't use the Flower Selecting on the second Comfey, but we can potentially attack with the Snorlax there, especially if we have the Mirage Gate. So weakening that up is going to be big. What energies do you give up here? A lot of singleton energies left. I'm sure if Let's Show could, he'd take 2 metal energies to make sure you still have one of each still in the deck. It might have to be either the lightning or the water, because it's already hard to get Dragonite anyway. Again, very tough choice. Very, very tough choice. Looks like it's gonna be the lightning energy there. There you go. We're gonna play the capture energy. What are we gonna grab? Zamazenta from Crown Zenith. Ooh, that's a pretty good backup attacker. Retaliate plus the Thumping Snore right now. That's enough to knock out the VMAX for sure. Primate Wisdom now being played, putting the Scoop Up Net onto the top of the deck. And here we go. Thumping Snore, 180 damage. Oh, but because of the special energy, I totally forgot as well. Because there's a special energy on the Snorlax, Duraludon Skyscraper ability is active and it takes 0 damage. That might be just a game-winning move there for Caleb, I'm sure. I mean, we had to commit. We committed a Mirage Gate and an energy to get that attack for essentially nothing. We're going to be set back a couple of turns for sure. And we're just going to go ahead and G-Max Pulverization takes the knockout. Go into Comfey. Again, very, very unfortunate turn of events, but it's not over yet. Getting the Chorus Experiment is big, but that's the only psychic energy in the deck, right? There is a psychic energy in the prizes, I believe one, but again, Chorus Experiment just that important here. They need to try and get another Mirage Gate. They want to attack with maybe something like the Zacian this next turn, and yeah, looks like they are. No, they can't. They still need the energy as well. They have the Mirage Gate, not the energy. And man, sometimes playing Lost Box and not getting the right pieces despite the absolutely huge hand doesn't feel the best. Oh wait, no, we do have the training card. We do have the training card. Do we have a metal energy in the discard pile? We do. So we do have the attack. Never mind. The pieces of the puzzle were there. And we do have the retreat. It's just a matter of what else do we want to do. We could use the Primate Wisdom again to stack the deck even more. We haven't seen a Marnie yet, though, despite the fact that we've been doing that play each and every turn. And the question is, what's our next attacker? Again, if the damage on the Snorlax just stuck there on the Duraludon, this would be a knockout. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Chorus Experiment in hand, not too bad. Here we go. Retaliate for 220 damage. Not sure. A Cramorant, I guess, would be the perfect way to just knock out this Duraludon. Or I'm sure. Oh, there we go. We do find the Marnie. I'm trying to think. Radiant Greninja, unfortunately, as tempting as it is to attack with, to put more damage on the board, Radiant Greninja is not going to cut it. They're opting to retreat here. Big play. Again, really forcing Lecho to work for those prizes, especially with the Marnie. It's going to get tougher and tougher, and we know the psychic energy is in the prize, so Sableye can't just chase down that Duraludon, unfortunately. The Collapse Stadium as well, limiting the amount of bench. Big Parasol, too. Big Parasol now shuts off the possibility of Sableye. And Lecho's in a very, very tough position now. I'm not sure what you do. I'm trying to think. I really, really am. Like a Dragonite. Dragonite's probably the best attacker here. You might have to Dragonite twice potentially, but Caleb down to his last 3 prizes. We do have Raihan. We have access to anything we want in the deck, but what do we want? There's a lot of damage on board. There's 220 damage onto Duraludon, 110 damage on the Arceus, but Caleb just played this absolutely beautifully and really, really, really forced Lecho to work for those prizes. Okay, easy choice here, just getting the Dragonite V. Can't quite attack with the Dragonite V. Metal energy isn't what you need. You're going to need a water energy in hand if you want to attack with the Dragonite. I mean, they do have Raihan. I think that might have to be it. I think you're going to have to attack twice. Okay, here's the play. Here's the play. I see the lines. I see the lines. You're going to have to attack twice with the Dragonite, right? And then you're going to have to use Ordinary Rod and get Dragonite again. And then Sky Seal Stone knock out the Duraludon VMAX. That's the only way. That's the only route I see here. But that's going to be tough because you don't have boss's orders to work with. Escape rope is big here. If Caleb chooses to promote one of the damaged Pokemon that will give let's show prizes to work with, maybe potentially draw into that psychic, but no, of course, Caleb opts to promote the Duraludon with only 2 energy, but full HP. That's not too bad either. I think that escape rope was just the best play in that scenario, because now if you're doing excuse me, if you're doing if you're two-shotting to active Duraludon, it does open up, you take 3 prizes, and then it still opens up the play where you can use Sky Steel Stone on the Arceus and close things out. Looks like we are going to use the Raihan. These are the resources we have left. There's no more Mirage Gate. We do have Ordinary Rods. 4 cards left in the deck, so Colress Experiment's not that useful. But looks like we're going to opt to grab it. If we use Colress Experiment, that means we don't have cards left in the deck later on. But yeah, I think Ordinary Rod probably the best pick there. Something that could open up, possibility that maybe Caleb doesn't have the energy to attack. Yeah, there's a lot of energy in play. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 metal energy already in play. And we know for a fact that Caleb has been retreating as well. If this is Duraludon stock and Dragonite can walk away from this exchange without damage, that is a possibility. Oh, something as well. The Sky Seal Stone wasn't in the deck. Not quite sure if it was sent to the Lost Zone or was in the discard pile already. But there we go. We're going to see Dragon's Gale, 250 damage. Big damage. DTE. We're just going to go ahead and retreat here. And there we go. We're going to see Trinity Nova. So much damage on the board, but no prizes we can take. Very unfortunate there. We're going to have to retreat. Colress Experiment could deck us out here. But not, I think Lecho just doesn't have the resources to close this one out, unfortunately. I think the attack with the Snorlax was just too costly. Cost us 1 Mirage Gate and a turn. And yeah, you just have to look at the board. There's so much damage. And Sableye would love to try and clean get us a couple of prizes, but like Sableye by itself here can essentially take a 5 prize turn, but that's not 6. And there's a big Parasol preventing that line of play in the first place. Caleb here takes the knockout on Dragonite V. Taking 2 prizes, goes down to 1. Let's see what Let's Show can play. Cramrad will net us 2 prizes at least. If they had a way to gust, you could even try and boss stall them, right? You can try and gust up the Duraludon VMAX that only has 1 energy. And I have a feeling Caleb is down probably almost all their energies at this point, and then you just use Lost Mine to clean things up for sure. But yeah, we have Radiant Greninja. Actually, Radiant Greninja can take 5 prizes as well, but again, without Mirage Gate, that is a tough ask. Again, Let's Show here just really trying to find the out, playing everything he has, but unfortunately can't quite do it. Again, with that, Caleb is going to go ahead and Caleb is going to be joining us for top 4. Big win here for Caleb. That much closer again to winning a late night, and winning a late night is always big. All right, let's go ahead and hang out here in the right here while I try and find us a game. But huge props again to Let's Show. Again, unfortunately, just a small misplay does go a long way, unfortunately, in top 8. All right, we do have a game here. Let me just double check what this is. All right, so this is a top 4 game here. Yoshi Main against Dalton Cross. Let's go ahead and hop on. All right, looks like Yoshi Main did win game 1, so this is game 2. Dalton Cross playing Lugia V-Star against Mew VMAX. In a matchup, almost a tale as old as time here. Again, 2 of the best decks currently in the standard format. Mew VMAX just able to draw a ton of cards and be such an efficient attacker. But against Lugia V-Star, the undisputed best deck in format. Ooh, looks like... give me a sec. Looks like Yoshi Main does play the Aerodactyl V-Star, which might explain the early win for sure. Let's see. I'm curious if they're able to take a knockout here on the Lugia V-Star. Unfortunately, they cannot. 220 damage. Didn't quite have enough. They didn't quite have enough damage modifiers there. And now over back to Dalton. Do have boss's orders. They can potentially take 2 prizes here, but they will have to eventually deal with this Mew. Gonna opt to attach the capture energy, maybe try and get the next attacker. Looks like Amazing Rare Eviltal is prized or already in the discard pile. So very curious here what they're going to decide to do. They do have another Lugia V on the bench, so it might have to be a Lugia V-Star all the way. They could attack with the Lugia now into the active and potentially clean up prizes using the Raikou, the Amazing Rare Raikou there. Primate Wisdom to save the double turbo, but does draw us into an Aurora Energy, so either way we're losing energy. Boss's orders might be the play here. All right, we're going to Primal Turbo as well. Again, we're going to have to power up the second Lugia. By taking this knockout, we do go down to 2 prizes. Dalton does go down to 2, so they could potentially be another boss's orders away from winning it all here. And there we go. We're going to see a Tempest Dive take the knockout, 280 damage, big damage. Another Aurora Energy. And a Marnie. Marnie might be the better supporter here if you don't want to lose energy. But this late in the game, it might be good enough to just lose the energy. But you know what? Let's take away those options. Roxanne being played now. Dalton only able to draw 2 cards. Not the best 2 cards. This might be a Yoshi's window of opportunity to come back here, especially with Path of the Peak that does take out the Luminion options, forcing Dalton here to play the Lost Vacuum if they want to play Luminion, but then that means they can't use something like a Quick Ball. They're going to have to hard draw into it. Looks like we're going to go into the Archeops first because we do have the energy to potentially pivot. Evolution Incense, not too bad. That could get us Lugia V-Star. There it is, Lugia V-Star coming into play. We still have access to the Oranguru as well. I think better sequencing there would have been to use the Oranguru first and then grab the Lugia V-Star right? So we shuffle in the Archeops to make sure we don't top deck it. But we still have the option to do that, actually. We can try and power up the Lugia V-Star now, use the Guru, and then use another Primal Turbo to shuffle the deck. Because again, I don't think Dalton wants to necessarily draw either card. Looks like they're opting to just attack with the Archeops instead here. Could be big. They drew into Boss's Orders. Oh, that's it. They should win here. Yes, they should win here. Absolutely big card off the Primate Wisdom with the Boss's Orders on the Genesect. Primate Wisdom, Oranguru putting in the work there. Tempest Dive takes the knockout. And Dalton Cross ties it up here, the top 4 of the late night, number 86. Roxanne is a lie, ladies and gentlemen, as long as you have Oranguru, apparently. All right, here we go. Game 3 of top 4. Yoshi main against Dalton Cross. Mew VMAX against Lugia V-Star. Yoshi's going to start us off. Is that Aerodactyl? That's the only thing I'm wondering. Can you start the Aerodactyl V and get Aerodactyl V-Star? Starting out the Mew. Not too bad. That's a pivot. Quick Ball will give us either Genesect or the Aerodactyl. Looks like it is going to be the Genesect. Can we play down to hand a little bit more? That's still only 2 Fusion Strike Pokemon, 3 Fusion Strike Pokemon. Power Tablet being played as well. DTE only drawing 1 card here. Big Fusion Strike system. Getting a second Mew. Fusion Strike again. Third Mew. And just a pass. No Aerodactyl. Dalton can breathe a sigh of relief here. He should be able to put down 2 Lugia Vs. No problem, especially since you have the Quick Ball. Quick Ball, you can use Irida to find the second Lugia V, and that is gonna give Yoshi a hard time. And I'm sure they would have loved to just get the Aerodactyl in play and just make sure that they don't have access to the Summoning Star. Do you play the Marnie? Do you play the Irida? It's gonna be the Marnie. Big gamble here if they don't get a second Lugia V. Looks like it does pay off. They do get the Quick Ball, but not much else in the hand. Rest of the hand not looking too good. They might opt to maybe grab the Oranguru, but no, it's gonna have to be the second Lugia. That makes sense. Again, so Mew most likely has the Boss's Orders. Just gonna have to attach and pass. Not the greatest hand to leave off. As we go back to Yoshi here. Ooh, Yoshi playing the Escape Rope. That means don't quite need to play Boss's Orders. They played 1 Power Tablet as well. There's the Ultra Ball. Should guarantee the VMAX. So this is a knockout. 100%. If they can find themselves a path to the peak, Yoshi is looking good. Fusion Strike system draws 5 cards here. Second DTE being played. Rodent Bone is a great card to just look at the top 6 cards of your deck. 6 or 5, can't quite remember actually, but look at the top cards of your deck. Choose one of them, put them. Great way to just get a little bit of a targeted search, but it looks like they didn't quite want whatever was on top. So just gonna go ahead and shuffle the deck, get another Genesect. Drawing quite a bit. There's second Fusion Strike system draws them up to 6. Can they find the path of the peak? They can find the path of the peak. That definitely gives Dalton a hard time. Cram-O-Matic, if he can't draw into it, how about we flip for it? Still not there. Fan of Waves, not something I've seen in a minute. That's actually a pretty interesting card to have in Mew. Do they have the path? Judge! Oh no! Yoshi here, not again. Both players don't have access to either hand, but Judge saves them here. No, but draws into the path thanks to the Judge. And that's it. Cross Fusion Strike for the knockout. Dalton has the Lugia V-Star in hand. Looks like they're going into the Dunsparce. The rest of the hand not looking too good. They can drop a second Lugia. Capture Energy being played now. Can't find the Oranguru. Oranguru has helped Dalton in the past. Can Primate Wisdom? Serena's pretty big. That's a draw supporter. Oranguru putting in the work once again, just really showing off why this card is big. Serena does have 2 effects, and we're going to choose to draw 5 big ones. That's a lot of energy, and that's just going to have to be a pass. And unfortunately, this is the weakness of the Lugia V-Star deck. Again, before you getting to the point where you get to Summoning Star is always the hardest part. You have to build your deck in a way that there are essentially 20 bricks, right? There's 4 Archeopses and 16 special energy, 20 bricks, and you're trying to set up. So a hand like this, like with Aurora energies, Capture energies, that's pretty normal. Judge being played once again. Giving excuse me, giving Dalton a better hand. I think Yoshi just not playing the playing Judges, definitely not helping them out here. And we're just gonna go ahead and max Miracle for the knockout, going down to 3. Still very big. Vovu should be able to finally use Summoning Star here because he does have the Quick Ball in hand. Quick Ball could find them the Pumpkaboo if it's in the deck. How many Archeops? I didn't quite see how many Archeopses they had in the discard pile. Capture energy, go through the deck there. They might not be able to take a knockout on me. Oh, Pumpkaboo surprised. The Pumpkaboo surprised. The path is sticking. Very unfortunate. That means Primate Wisdom again, once again, is gonna have to carry us. There you go. Quick Ball one more time, grabbing a Luminion. Here we go. Primate Wisdom. I know we lost a Lost Vacuum a little bit earlier as well. Quick Ball not quite going to help. Might just have to be a pass here. Leave the Lugia in the active. Missing a couple of beats there. And just a pass back to Yoshi. Yoshi does have already 2 Mew Vs ready to go. If he has a second power tablet, this is as good as done. Judge being played now, getting 4 fresh cards. Again, they don't have access to the Fusion Strike system because of the Path of the Peak. Cramomatic, very important flip here. If they get it, they win the game. There it is. Hands on the Cramomatic, gets the power tablet. That's 280 damage with the Mew and the knockout on the lone Lugia V-Star. Just like that. Looks like Yoshi is going to advance to the finals here at the late night. Late night number 86, the final late night on PTCGO. Huge congrats to Yoshi. Absolutely huge. But well played there by Dalton. Did the best they could despite the bad hands for sure. All right, we'll be right back, folks, while I try and find everyone the finals. Oh, looks like we can watch the other side of top 4. But give me 1 second while I grab some water. Looks like we will have the finals here shortly. It's going to be Yoshimane against Caleb Rogerson. Arcdura against Mew VMAX. It's going to be an interesting one if we can get a stream here. All right, we have the finals here going up shortly. Here we go. It's Yoshi main against Caleb Rogerson. Missed a little bit of the action here, but most of the action, to be honest, looks like Path of the Peak being bumped there. Interesting. How are they going to hit the... Oh, they're going to use Max Miracle. Got it. All right, all right. Looks like Mew is down to 1 prize here. Give me 1 second. Yes, Yoshi main down to 1 prize. Max Miracle should be able to close this out. Just a chain of Max Miracles, especially if the Duraludon has no way to attack. Again, as if Mew wasn't busted enough, they do have access to a Shred style attack, but Boss's orders, if there's no way to retreat, never mind. There's the escape rope, and just like that, Yoshi is going to be ahead of the game here. Wins the first game, excuse me, in the late night finals. Must have been, again, quite a one-sided game there. Again, the Duraludon player was not able to get a prize, unfortunately. But give us a sec here, chat. Looks like we're coming back. Just a minor disconnection. But again, big win here from Yoshi. He is favored in this matchup, right? Surprisingly enough, despite Mew only playing special energies, they only play DTE. And, you know, that's what Duraludon blocks exactly. They block special energies. They have so many ways to play around it. They have Aerodactyl to try and shut off abilities. They can even just use Path of the Peak to get key hits in, or even Max Miracle, just like we've seen earlier. So absolutely huge. But now we're going to game 2. All right, in game 2, luckily, the Duraludon player will have that 1 extra turn to try and evolve. Let's see if they can make the best of it. Here we go. Mulligan there is going to give Duraludon an extra card. Could be big. Again, all they need is an Arceus V and an energy. They are going to open up with the Duraludon, but Quick Ball could quickly change that. That is going to find them a basic Pokemon. And if I had to guess, it's going to be the Arceus V. Looking at Yoshi's hand there, honestly, a little bit awkward, right? They do have the Forest Seal Stone, which could turn into a Battle VIP Pass. Potentially, they do have Boss's orders as well. They get DTE. Let's see here. It's going to be the Cram-O-Matic. Just like that. Hand is looking good. Cram-O-Matic heads is going to find them the Battle VIP Pass. Battle VIP Pass going to net them a Mew V and a Genesect potentially. There it is. Place to put both the Double Turbo Energy and the Forest Seal Stone. We're just going to go ahead and play this judge. This is actually a pretty big judge, right? If we can find a way to slow down the Duraludon player, because again, they're not allowed to play support Pokemon besides the Starbirth. We're going to use this Quick Ball here, losing the Power Tablet. Could find them another Genesect. What they're looking for here is potentially a Path to the Peak, because they do have the Lost Vacuum in hand. Another Battle VIP Pass, not too bad there. They have another judge as well. They could opt to just play the Quick Ball instead. No, they're going to use the Battle VIP Pass. Fail it. Play the Quick Ball as well to thin out the hand. Grab another Mew V. here we go. Draws 6, does find the path to the peak. Not quite sure what else they need. Just play that, put it down, and pass. Not too bad. Pretty good first turn. A lot of pressure now on to... Yes, a lot of pressure now on to Caleb. Ultrawall will find them the Arceus V-Star, but with the path to the peak in play, that means there's no Starbirth. They're going to have to find the Switch and the double turbo energy naturally. 2 cards left in the hand. And that's a research. Not a bad card. Last card to play. The perfect research, in fact. And gets the Collapse Stadium, limiting the bench here for both players. And Starbirth now coming into play. And things are looking a lot better here for Caleb. Is going to find themselves the escape rope. If they can't go into the Mew because that will be knockout. The 10 extra HP on the Genesect, pretty important. Unless they just choose to lose a Mew. They're choosing here to lose 2 prizes just so that they don't have to search for that for the Switch card. That's an interesting play for sure. Not sure if I agree with it. Again, you're losing 2 prizes and a Mew. We already lost a Mew as well off the Collapse Stadium. That means there's only 1 Mew left in the deck. And that's it. Trinity for the knockout, 180, just enough. If Mew just had 10 more HP, just like its partner Genesect, could have survived the turn there. And now back to Yoshi. To take this knockout, they're going to need 3 damage modifiers. Big Parasol's not going to do it. We're going to use the Cram-O-Matic here. Getting lucky with the Crams. There's the heads. Again, there's only 1 Mew left in the deck. Gonna have to at least grab that, or maybe the damage modifiers, just because those are a little bit harder to find. Looks like, do they have access to Choice Belts in the deck? So they're going to need Choice Belt plus 2 damage modifiers. They're choosing to grab the Choice Belt first. They could lose a Vacuum. They're going to lose the boss's orders. Get rid of the Collapse Stadium. They do have Pal Pad as well. Just put him back a couple of judges. Here we go. Fusion Strike system only for 4, unfortunately, because this is... But we do find a second Mew, get the attachment as well. We have the Judge. Looks like they're opting for Escape Rope. Interesting play there, in my opinion. Now the Duraludon's in the active. They're going to have to find the Path of the Peak as well. If they don't have Path, they don't have an attack here. They can't copy Max Miracle, unfortunately, because there's no second Mew VMAX in play. When you use Cross Fusion Strike, you're going to have to copy from another Fusion Strike Pokemon. Luckily, they do have something like the Forest Seal Stone already in hand, so that can just naturally find them the boss, and they have a way to bump the boss. They play the Lost City, though, so they don't have an attack this turn. There's the Path of the Peak. Yeah, again, they can't play Max Miracle, and unfortunately, that's a concession there. And I believe that ties things up 1-1. Going first was absolutely huge for Caleb. But now Yoshi has the opportunity to go first. Here you go. Again, I guess it's just a matter of who sets out first, right? I think... Yeah, it's just a matter of who gets to set up first. And, you know, if Mew gets to attack first, that's absolutely huge. That means it forces the Duraludon player to play double Arceus for safety, for example. Opening hand, luckily that's a mulligan because that's triple Judge, double Power Tablet, not that much. Here we go, opening hand now, 1 Mew and a couple of Crams that are pretty important. And all right, here we go. This is the final match of the night here. at the late night number 86. One of these players is going home a champion. Cram-O-Matic Heads gets the Battle VIP pass. Is going to net them a Genesect plus the Mew. They still have one more Cram-O-Matic, but that means you're losing some damage modifiers. We are going to use it. Unfortunately, it is Tails. We get to attach the tool as well. Draw one card. Big one card here. DTE, not too bad for the next turn, and it's just a pass. Over now to Caleb. Opening up the Duraludon V. Again, not what you want to see. Pokemon Catcher. Interesting card. Is it going to be Heads? No, it's going to be Tails. Evolution Incense. I'm not liking where this is going. Again, these are cards that we're just burning here. Pokegear. Very important Pokegear. Can we get a supporter? No supporter. Collapse Stadium. Okay, we do have the research. Okay. In my mind, I was thinking maybe there was nothing in that hand that was playable, but it looks like they even had the Marnie. Can they get a second Pokemon? If they don't get a second Pokemon, it's still a possibility here. There's the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball will find them that second Pokemon. Will find them the Arceus V. Next question is, do they have the energy? But even then, I mean, no, we should be fine. I think they should be fine there. I was thinking, you know, even if you get the energy on the Arceus, Mew has a potential to gust. However, Yoshi here didn't have the most explosive turn one. There's just going to be a judge. They're going to need to find Mew VMAX plus a path. No, not Mew VMAX and a path. They're going to need Mew VMAX and the Escape Rope, potentially. Looks like they're going to draw one card. Going to have to start Alchemy here. Maybe just grab the Mew VMAX from here. Right? Oh, they could find themselves a Genesect, but that's a little bit risky. Getting the Mew VMAX, this is going to get them 2 prizes. Not too bad. They can even play the Path. And now they don't even have to play the Power Tablet to take this knockout. There you go. Technoblast for the knockout. Can Dalston respond? Can Caleb respond here? Caleb, Lone Arceus in play. Pokegear 3.0. Will it net them a supporter? Looks like they did get something. Didn't quite get to see what they grabbed. Very important turn. Path to the Peak, just showing how powerful that card is. They do get a Duraludon and the Raihan. Not too bad there. Raihan should net them anything they want from the deck. It's going to be the Evolution Incense. Do they have the double turbo energy? Is going to get them Arceus V-Star. Do they have the double turbo energy? Naturally, yes, they do. Who needs Starbirth? When you just have it in hand, there it is. Trinity Nova for 180 damage. And right now, the Path of the Peak, it's hurting Yoshi instead. With Path of the Peak in play, that means there's no access to Fusion Strike System, and they've already used the Forest Seal Stone. Normally, Forest Seal Stone can be used under Path of the Peak, but again, you can only use a V-Star power one time. I don't think there's a way to draw here, and if there's no way to draw, there's no way to attack, unfortunately. They could try and find themselves another Genesect and retreat to a Genesect. Silene up a Judge, potentially. Just so you have a supporter for the next turn. Or the Lost Vacuum. That's pretty good as well. And again, they're just going to have to retreat here. Not the best positions. Not the best position to be in, for sure. Losing the Mew V actually doesn't seem too bad. I know earlier it was really bad. Just because... and losing the Mew V means they didn't have the opportunity to evolve into a double Mew VMAX. Looks like they are going to hit them with a Marnie. Luckily, the vacuum cleaner, the Lost Vacuum is on top of the deck. However, the Duraludon VMAX has evolved. So, yeah, so Caleb here can easily just retreat, and they have a knockout now on the Genesect. Just like that, there's no Genesect in play now. No way to draw, but they do have the Quick Ball. Here we go. What do they get? They do get a Genesect. So they will be able to draw here. Lost Vacuum getting rid of the big Parasol. Gets rid of their own Path of the Peak. And they're going to be able to draw Aerodactyl, not the greatest card right now, so quick ball, easy quick ball target there is going to net them another Genesect. They can even use this Cram-O-Matic. Let's see if it's heads. No, unfortunately not. They're going to need another VMAX or the Path to the Peak. That's neither, unfortunately. Double turbo now on the Mew and the active. Quick ball on the Battle VIP pass is going to net them one more Genesect, and they can still use the Judge. Again, there's the Mew VMAX, so they will be able to use the Max Miracle here. They still have one more draw, I believe. Yes, they still have one more. Genesect looks like they're going to go ahead and Palpad back the Silene and a Judge. Here we go. Fusion Strike system. Let's see what they get. Not too bad. Not too bad. A couple of supporters. And yeah, they're going to be able to Max Miracle 110. And next turn, that means that they're looking for Path to the Peak. And some... A Path to the Peak will knock out the Duraludon, actually. Well, no. Path to the Peak and one more damage modifier. The double turbo actually making the math that much harder. A little bit of a misplay there. Double turbo means you're reducing damage by 40, right? If it was just one double turbo, you're doing 110 damage. The Mew VMAX on the bench with the Choice Belt plus a Path to the Peak would have been a knockout, but there's the the Pokemon Catcher heads and the knockout, 220 damage. Big KO there. Caleb goes down to one prize. They're one gust away from winning this entire thing. Ultra Ball now being played, just thinning down the hand. He's going to find him another Mew V. A little bit risky there. No, it should be fine. No, it is risky. Sorry, I'm flip-flopping there. Yes, by dropping the Mew V, that means a boss target with the Arceus. A boss with the Arceus will win the game as well. Assuming they can get the knockout here. They need quite a bit. And it starts with the Cram-O-Matic. Getting another power tablet. They're going to need... Oh, let's see here. I think they're going to need 2 power tablets because of the double DTE. So they do have a second power tablet. Yeah, so they're going to need double power tablet here. And then they have to draw into Path to the Peak. Here we go. A couple of Genesects. Only 13 cards left in the deck. Should pretty much guarantee we draw into what we need. There's the Path to the Peak. They're going to use a power tablet as well. I don't think they needed that. I'm not sure. I'm thinking of the math. We'll see after this attack here. Would have preferred if they held that in the hand for sure. There it is. We're going to see a Technoblast for 260. Oh, they did. They did need that power tablet. Okay. But again, the double DTE definitely hurting here. They wouldn't have needed that extra power tablet. I believe they could have saved 2 power tablets. Lose the Mew. They have to lose the Mew here, because if they have the Gust, they lose the game. Okay. By bumping... Wait. I think a little bit of a misplay as well from the Arceus player. They did have Starbirth. No, they had to... Sorry, excuse me. They had to play the Starbirth. They had to play the Stadium to get the Starbirth. Even with the Gust here... This is... Oh, that's 200 damage. Never mind. That's the knockout. Do excuse me. I was thinking that because... It was 180 damage. But because it's triple basic energy, that's the full power of Arceus V-Star. 200 damage for the knockout on the Genesect. Absolutely huge. All right. Great plays there. Congratulations to Caleb Rogerson for being our late night number 86 champion, making them that much closer to Yokohama, Japan. True, definitely threw me for a loop there. But yes, congratulations. Arctura just showing the power of the Arceus Duraludon. With that, yeah, again, absolutely amazing game for you. I was at the edge of my seat. You know, I was thinking maybe the Mew player was in a pretty good position. But unfortunately, Duraludon just shows the power of having multiple gust options, right? By having multiple gust options, they can easily just go the triple V route, which is exactly what happened there. But great plays again. Duraludon, very, very powerful deck. That's what I believe that's the list that did win the Utrecht special event with the Pokemon catchers. But yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for tuning into the late night number 86. Make sure you tune in again next week for the same late night action, just a different client. Again, this was the last late night using a PTCGO. But yeah, if you like what you saw here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified when new videos do come out. Also, do us a favor, check out our sponsors down below if you like what we do here in the Shuffle Squad. Supporting our sponsors supports the Shuffle Squad. My name's PrimeTimeWizardTv.